If I told you that the most beautiful piece of paper money ever created in America was only printed for 3 years because people thought it was too artistic? That this dollar bill features a goddess, the United States Constitution, and a massive historical error that the government just left there? Today, we are looking at the 1896 $1 educational note. They don't make money like this anymore. When you think of old money, you might think of boring portraits of dead presidents. But in the late 1800s, the US Treasury decided to get artsy. They released the educational series of silver certificates. There is a $2 version and a $5 version, but the $1 note is the superstar. In fact, in 2010, the League of Paper Money Enthusiasts voted it the #1 most beautiful note of all time. Let's actually look at this thing. It doesn't look like money. It looks like a painting you'd see in a museum. That's because it basically is. The design is called History Instructing Youth. It was painted by a famous artist named Will Hitchcock Lowe. On the left, you have a young boy. That's youth. He is kneeling, looking up at a beautiful, powerful woman. That's history. History is holding a book, recording events. But look at what youth is leaning on. It's a stone tablet, and on that tablet is the front page of the U.S. Constitution. The message is clear. The future of America, the boy, is built on the foundation of the past. Now look past them. What do they see? It's the Potomac River leading toward Washington, D.C. And here's the cool part. Check out the skyline. On the left, you see the United States Capitol building. But look at the dome. It's under construction. That dates this scene perfectly to the mid-1800s. And over here, the Washington Monument. But it's not the tall obelisk we know today. It's just a stub. They ran out of money building it. This note captures a specific moment in history when America was still a work in progress. So what's the error I mentioned? Take a look at the Constitution again. There's a word in the preamble, tranquility. On the note, it's spelled Tranquility. That's actually the correct spelling in the original document. It looks weird to us because we're used to the modern spelling, but the Treasury left the classic spelling intact. It's not a mistake, it's a history lesson. Now flip it over. The back is just as famous as the front. You've got two oval portraits. On the left, George Washington based on the famous Gilbert Stuart painting, and on the right, Martha Washington. This is actually the only piece of regular US paper currency to ever feature a woman as the main portrait. That alone makes it a unicorn in American money. So, if it's so beautiful, why did they stop making it in 1899? 3 reasons. First, cost. Printing these things was expensive. They were engraved by master engravers, guys like Charles Schlecht and Charles Burt. The detail was insane, but it took forever to make the plates. Second, politics. Some people in Washington hated it. They thought money should look like money, stern and official, not like a Greek myth. They called it too artistic for practical use. But the third reason is the funniest: counterfeiters. Because the note was so complicated, it actually attracted counterfeiters. They figured, if the government is going to make it look like art, we can print art too. Some of the fakes from that era are almost as valuable as the real notes today. So in 1899, they scrapped the educational series and went back to the boring, reliable portraits we know today. All right, the part everyone wants to know. If you find one of these in Grandma's attic, what is it worth? It depends entirely on condition. These notes are over 120 years old. They were large, bigger than today's money, so they got folded and damaged easily. If you have one that's been folded up, maybe has a little tear, that's a good or fine condition note. We're looking at $200 to $700. If you have one that's crisp, bright, and looks like it just came from the bank in 1896, we are talking big money. A very fine example can easily fetch $1,000 to $2,500. And if it's gem uncirculated, perfect. At a major auction, these have sold for over $15,000. There's even one graded superb gem uncirculated that's worth over $100,000. That little piece of paper could be a down payment on a house. The 1896 $1 educational note is more than just money. It's a piece of American art. It's a snapshot of how we viewed ourselves 120 years ago, as a nation building its future on the lessons of the past. Do you think we should bring back artistic money? Or should cash stay simple? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this deep dive into history, check our other videos. Thanks for watching. Please share, like, and happy hunting.